July the 20th. Romance is far from over. A full English. It's not an English. It's got elements of English. Breakfast for the birthday girl. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, honey. I'm 24 today. I mean 42.
Oh yeah. A little detail.
You know. Sorry, Helen is singing for me.
Good old Helen. Well, we are off on this lovely birthday of Asha's to the local swimming pool and spa. I don't think we'll be taking the camera in because I reckon that will end up with me getting arrested for being a pervert, and I don't think we want that, do we?
We definitely don't. I need you to skipper the boat.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back to Adventure Now in the safe port of Patreksfjörður on the west coast of Iceland. In the last episode we talked about the riches of the sea and how those riches have changed Iceland. But here we see a memorial to the less fortunate. The sea doesn't always give. Sometimes it takes two. And it's no coincidence that the church is built in such a place, so it is the last thing a fisherman will see on his way out, and the first on his return.
This is as close as we're going to get to the swimming pool area, I think. I can almost hear the police sirens approaching as I'm holding this camera. So let's put it away. Oh, look, let's have a view.
It's a sad state of affairs when you feel like a pervert just for walking around a place like this with a camera. But perhaps if men are allowed to turn up here in disguises once a year and empty their sacks, I needn't have worried. I'll give you love, even though we've never met. Please take it freely, without any debt. We were together once upon a time, but we fell either side of a dividing line. So take my friendship, what's there to lose? The only strangers are the ones we choose.
The birthday is over, and I have to say that Asha is not looking a day older than when I met her, which is good news because I don't want people saying, there goes that young Mark with no grey hair with his old girlfriend. So you're doing okay. We are ready to leave. We had a lovely spa day yesterday in the hot tub, the lukewarm tub and the freezing cold tub. It was about 4 degrees I think, and that means undercarriage up and yet to return down. Shall we unhook, untie and get going?
Without exception, none of the ports that we have visited so far in Iceland are there to cater for yachts. They are specifically fishing ports, but we couldn't have been made to feel more welcome. Harbour staff always have a sense of humility about them, which I think comes from working with the sea. They are friendly, welcoming, and always keen to help.
That was a very nice spot. First impressions were that there was not much going on there, but I think that was a great place to celebrate your birthday. There was a nice spa and nice relaxing day, a couple of drinks as well, and now we're heading out into the Yonder, where the sky and the water are blurring into one. No wind in the forecast, so Perkins is taking us further south.
Since we have been adventuring up in these more northern latitudes, we have learnt to curtail our dreamy fantasies of sailing everywhere, because that's simply not the reality. In general terms, the weather up here is either kicking your arse to kingdom come, or totally and utterly benign. And whilst we enjoy a heavy sailing challenge here and there, we're happy to take this gentle cruise.
We're just cruising down the coast here, and we could see what we thought was a village right up on the headland. But when you look through the binoculars, you can see that it's actually loads of cars and buses, because that is the most western point of Iceland. So the tourists are there and walking up and down the headland. And I thought it's pretty cool that that might be the most western point, but we are west of it. And that is the joy of being on a boat. You get a perspective that you don't get on land, and it's pretty cool.
And I'm pretty sure that this is a perspective that you don't get on land either. Our first encounter with a couple of big basking sharks that were quite happy to cruise right up in front of Altor before quietly descending below.
My name is Mark Thompson and I am a motorholic. I've just motored 122 miles from Patreksfjörður to Akranes. There you go, I've said it. But anyway, a sailing boat without wind is no longer an adventure machine. A sailing boat without wind but with a diesel engine continues to be an adventure machine, and also a recycler. We have recycled a dead and decaying dinosaur, surely making the world a cleaner place. Altor of Down, we are cleaning the world one dirty dinosaur bone at a time and adventuring along the way. We're looking forward to getting to Akranes. I don't know why, but we already know that we're going to like it. The harbour master, harbour mistress in Patreksfjörður, said to us that maybe go to Husavik and not Akranes. And we take advice normally, but on this occasion we've just felt a bit drawn to this place. No idea why. I look across at this stony harbour wall and we have no idea what's on the inside. And that's part of the joy of this adventurous lifestyle.
Nice low pontoons rather than high and menacing walls. I like that.
Once again, we three are strangers in a new town, but we never actually feel like strangers, so I wonder, are any of us strangers at all?
That's neat.
Akranes, welcome.
Welcome, you too.
Thank you.
A different fishing port, and yet so much feels so familiar. I don't think this port is a stranger at all.
Well, it's Monday, and that means that Asha went back to work. But fortunately, with the hour difference, she finishes at 3:30, which gave us a nice opportunity to come and have a walk along the beach. It's a pretty cool town, Akranes, and as we're looking out to sea, we can see a yacht coming in, which is pretty good timing because we're standing right on the transit line, which is behind me. And the transit line is here because, unlike most other ports in Iceland, the approach here is very, very shallow. So you have a transit line, which basically means two beacons, and they are two orange triangles that you line up in order to approach the harbour safely. But in addition to that, there's a sector light, and a sector light is made up of three lights, a green, a white and a red. And if you're coming in and you can see the red light, it means you're too far to port or left. So you turn to starboard until you see the white light. Similarly, if you see the green light, you're too far to starboard, so you turn to port until you see the white mark. And then, in you come.
The town of Akranes has its own supply of geothermally heated water too, and they made this beautiful shoreline hot tub. And who gathers here at this seemingly random location? That's right, strangers. But once embraced by the natural warmth of the water and bamboozled by the awesome views out to sea, you don't feel like strangers, having been brought together by the same natural beauty. To us, it has become apparent that this is what Iceland is all about, the natural beauty and the coming together of people to marvel at it. Yeah, I know there's a tourist industry attached to that, but I see that as the hemorrhoid hanging off the cheeks of truth. The truth that when we go outside and admire nature, something strange happens. Smiles and camaraderie between previously unknown people appear, born directly from the mutual appreciation of something beautiful. The feeling of oneness creeps in, it fizzes, bubbles over and intertwines. This alchemy is the wonder of shared human joy.
I'm nearly there. I can see that the last steps are just a ladder leading to a room of light. It is old news to say that I love lighthouses, but to actually see one from the inside and climb to the top was so special for me. Careful!
Asha is right, and although I don't share her obsession with lighthouses, to see one up so close is a treat, considering that normally we pass them with a good safe distance way out to sea. So what do we do with this alchemy? Or rather, what can this alchemy do with us? To be continued.
This is our friend Dani, first met a couple of years ago on the Coast Guard vessel who's taken us on the Golden Circle route.
Yes.
He said, do you want to go on the Golden Circle? And we went, yeah. Got in the car and went, what's the Golden Circle? We had no idea, just in the business of saying yes. And this is also the huge freshwater lake down here, which Dani has swum across, one of only 5 people who have ever swum across it in his Speedos, madman.
Yeah.
And this is also the crack that separates 2 continents.
Yeah.
One side is Europe,
Yeah.
one side is America.
Yeah.
We're not sure which way, but it doesn't really matter.
America, Europe.
There you go.
America, Europe.
That's where we are.
Is my hair okay?
Yes, Dani, your hair is okay. In fact, you are marvellous. We first met Dani in 2021 when he was the first officer on the Coast Guard vessel Tur. He gave us a grand tour, we became friends and stayed in contact. But unfortunately, shortly after we met, Dani was involved in a very serious road accident which robbed him of his mobility. However, he defied the odds, and with the grit and determination that it takes to swim across an ice-cold lake in your Speedos, Dani didn't see the end, he saw the beginning. He clawed his way back to health, learning to walk all over again, and shortly after we caught up with him here in Iceland, he completed his first 10k run since the accident. You're an inspirational man, Dani, and it was our honour and a great pleasure to walk beside you once again.
Really hot.
Next, Dani took us to a place where once again time and pressure have made the seemingly impossible possible. So how long do we wait? How long have you got? Mother Nature's got forever, but us? We've got a lot less. Well, in this dimension at least. But what is for you will not pass you. So the alchemy, the chemistry of being drawn together over something wonderful is here. It's in the air. It's electric. And all of a sudden, despite politics, skewed ideology and tactics of division, us humans start once again to come towards each other, to lean on each other, and together we can form an arch, and we all know that an arch is one of the strongest structures in the world. And with such strength, we can see through those tactics of division, overcome those acts of separation. We can be happy, and we can become one.
We may not have had any idea what the Golden Circle was when Dani said he'd drive us there, but this is the conclusion, the beautiful waterfall that's behind me. So cheers, Dani, for taking on this perfect tourist day out. We really appreciate that. There's Dani. Cheers.
Yeah. It's the best trip of the day.
Yes, you're only one.
Yeah.
It's Friday lunchtime and we've been here since Saturday. It's been a really nice place to chill out and get up to date with Adventure Now episode 6, which is going to be posted tomorrow. And we are now ready to leave Akranes and go to Reykjavik. After our long motor from Patreksfjörður into Akranes, it's lovely to give Perkins a rest because we've got a force 4 to 5 to blow us to Reykjavik. It was completely up the chuff, so a run when we left, but as we come around I think the wind bounces off all the mountains and we're beaten at times and sometimes a reach. But we're cruising along and looking forward to finding out what Reykjavik is all about.
This YouTube thing is a strange thing indeed. I have no idea what you guys think about the workings of my mind. Whether you see me as sane, becoming insane, or insane and becoming sane.
When I look over there, I can see the smoke rising from the volcano. I'm not sure the camera will pick it up, but point it over there, Ashley, and we'll see.
The real question is, what is normal? All I know is that as you get older, the amount of fucks you have to give diminishes considerably, and it's really rather liberating. So welcome along for the ride.
Well, the breeze continues to build, so we've just rolled some jib away. We're a couple of miles from the entrance to Reykjavik now, so
not far to go. And hopefully there'll be some decent shelter in there, and I think there will be. Cell biologist Dr. Bruce Lipton explains that evolution is based on community and cooperation, and that within our bodies there are 50 trillion cells living in harmony. He further explains that as human beings we have already evolved, so what we are now is a cell in a larger community called humanity, and therefore the organism that is evolving now is a superorganism known as human civilization. But if, as cells of that superorganism, we continue to divide, fight and kill each other, then in biological terms, what we have is an autoimmune disease, a self-destruct button that we keep pressing. So from this, we can see that in order to evolve out of the mess that we so readily create for ourselves, as human cells we have to come together and cooperate as a community if we wish to evolve into something worth evolving into. My mum used to call me an independent cussbag, and I know she was right, but I've changed, or at least I am evolving. Now I fully appreciate that us humans can achieve far more together than we can alone. So come on, what are we waiting for? Thank you very much for watching our adventure now. Altor out.
Transit lines here which are made up with two a white and a green, and if you can come in both orange and you line the back one up with the front one up, there's a sector light, and a sector light is but in addition to the two beacons that you line up and tell everyone they're okay, what you also do go on, keep going.